Je respecte toujours mes promesses.
Hi and welcome to Select 10. As we know, that scary movies have their place, but sometimes, you don't just want to be scared for a couple of hours, you want to be scared for 8 hours, and maybe even for 8 full seasons. That's where web series comes in. And if you're looking for the best horror shows on Netflix, you have came to the right place. We have selected 10 best horror shows, which you should watch now. And watch full video, to avoid missing any series from this list. On number 10. BLOODRIDE. It is a Norwegian anthology horror series, which revolves around a bus, with doomed passengers on board, and its driver, driving in the rain, in the middle of the night. Each episode is set around a particular passenger, with their own story, and unpredictable universe. The only thing the 6 episodes share is the prologue, where we are on a mysterious bus, headed towards an unknown destination. The passengers who get off are the various main characters, entering their respective episodes. Overall, BLOODRIDE is chilling and relies on gritty realism, as well as dark humor, to deliver its thrills. And the series has 6.4 rating on IMDb. On number 9. Slasher. This anthology horror series tells a different gory murder mystery every season, where a group of people try to figure out the identity of the masked killer preying on them before he gets them all. The first season follows the story of a woman named Sarah, who returns to the small town where her parents were murdered by the executioner on the night of her birth. After her arrival, series of murders starts to occur, appearing to be at the hands of the executioner. It's a classic slasher movie setup, expanded to the length of a whole TV series. This means the audience gets to know the victims better than they do in a typical slasher movie. Every season has a twisty mystery and bloody kills that slasher movie fans will get a kick out of. And the show has 6.4 rating on IMDb. On number 8. MARIANNE. This French horror series came out of nowhere at the end of 2019 and absolutely scared the pants off of anyone who stumbled upon it. The series follows Emma, a famed horror writer who rose to fame for her book series about a witch named Marianne. But when Emma gets bored and decides to end the series and goes back to her hometown, she finds out that the evil spirit from her book is creating chaos in real life. The spirit haunts Emma in vulgar and terrifying way until she picks up the pen to continue to tell Marianne's story. But most importantly, the series is legit scary and unsettling as heck, making witches scarier than they have ever been. And the show has 7.4 rating on IMDb. On number 7. Archive 81.
What is going on in this building? What kind of game are you playing?
Developed by Rebecca Sonnenschein, this series is a new addition to Netflix horror shows, and people are loving it. The story follows an archivist, Dan Turner, who takes a mysterious job of restoring a collection of damaged videotapes from 1994. But unknowingly, he finds himself reconstructing the work of documentary filmmaker Melody Pendres and her investigation into a dangerous cult. As Dan is drawn into Melody's story, he becomes convinced that he can save her from the terrifying end she met 25 years ago. Overall, the story is a fascinating blend of horror and sci-fi that offers supernatural thrills in the best way. And the show has 7.4 rating on IMDb. On number 6. Brand new cherry flavor.
Make a move.
Created by Nick Antosca and Lenore Zion, this horror series follows the story of Lisa Nova, who comes to Los Angeles for directing her first movie, but when she trusts the wrong person and gets stabbed in the back, everything goes sideways and a dream project turns into a nightmare. This particular nightmare has zombies, hit men, supernatural kittens, and a mysterious tattoo artist who likes to put curses on people. Seeking vengeance, she recruits the help of a mysterious witch, invoking a curse that drags all their lives to hell. Now Lisa have to figure out some secrets from her own past in order to get out alive. And the series has 7.2 rating on IMDb. On number 5. Scream. It is an anthology horror slasher series based on the slasher film series of the same name. This anthology series follows a group of teenagers being stalked and targeted by a masked serial killer. And the first 2 seasons is set in the fictional town of Lakewood and follow the story of Emma Duval, a teenage girl who is linked to the horrific events of the town's past. As the killer's main obsession starts to take a hold, after a brutal murder in the present, Emma finds herself in the center of imminent risk. With both her family and friends in danger, she sets out to uncover the town's dark mysteries and unmask the identity of the Lakewood slasher. Overall, the cast is entertaining, the twists are unpredictable, and some of the kills are downright ruthless, making Scream one of the better slasher series. And it has 7.1 rating on IMDb. On number 4. The Haunting of Bly Manor. Follow-up to The Haunting of Hill House, this series is a new story, with new characters and a new setting, but it's just as emotionally devastating as The Hill House. Based on the 1898 novel, Turn of the Screw, this series takes place in the 1980s and follows a young American woman who is hired as a nanny for 2 young children at the Bly Manor. But things are not what it appears to be at Bly Manor. Arriving at the Bly estate, she begins to see ghosts that proceed to haunt the premises. While Hill House was extremely scary, Bly Manor is not. Instead, it is a frightening romance ghost story, which is quite emotional, but definitely still scary. And you will definitely be an emotional mess by the time you reach the end. And the show has 7.4 rating on IMDb. On number 3. Midnight Mass. This series is created by Mike Flanagan and follows a small community on a remote fishing island and their devotion to a new priest who is seemingly performing miracles. Except, yes, you guessed it right, something more sinister is beginning to happen, where strange and horrific events are involved. But what makes Midnight Mass so scary is its exploration of religion and faith and how far people are willing to go to believe. And the series has 7.7 rating on IMDb. On number 2. Paranormal. Based on best-selling book, it is an Egyptian supernatural horror drama series set in late 1960s Egypt and follows Egyptian professor Dr. Rifat, whose world slowly turns upside down after he starts to question his strong scientific convictions after experiencing a series of paranormal activities as he enters his 40s. Along with his university colleague, Maggie, both enter the paranormal world and try to save their loved ones from the immense danger that surrounds them. Also, each episode is standalone story and centered around one of the famous urban legends mentioned in book. But all the episodes are interconnected through one common recurring element. And the show has 8.5 rating on IMDb. On number 1. The Haunting of Hill House. Inspired by Shirley Jackson's book of the same name, this horror series is created and directed by Mike Flanagan. The story alternates between 2 timelines, from the adulthood of 5 siblings to the flashbacks from their childhood. And the story follows Hugh and Olivia Crane and their 5 children as they move into Hill House to renovate the mansion in order to sell it and build their own house. However, due to unexpected repairs, they have to stay longer and they begin to experience paranormal phenomena, which results in a tragic loss and forces them to flee from the house. But after 26 years later, the Crane siblings and their estranged father, Hugh, reunite after another tragedy strikes them again. And they are forced to confront how their time in Hill House has affected each of them. And believe me, this is the finest horror at its best, which will shake you up from inside and will stay in your mind for a very long time. And the show has 8.6 rating on IMDb. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe my channel to see more videos related to web series and movies suggestions.